Well, hello there again. We are back at the property that I went and checked out last video. I've spoken to the realtor and asked a bunch of questions and stuff, and generally speaking got some pretty positive answers. So I wanted to come back out and get a second impression, if you will, because the first impressions don't always amount to much. So came back out, I wanted to kind of reanalyze things, and also it rained pretty good for a couple of days, so I wanted to see how the road handled it, and surprisingly it's perfectly fine. Depending on what I can discover here, I might take some measurements and stuff, but it's all yet to be seen. We'll see how it goes. Well, I've been looking around a while. I even took out the clippers and cut a little bit of brush out of the way so I could traverse the property a little easier, and I'm trying to find the corner pins so I can confirm exactly where the property line is, because that's, something that we didn't do with the first property before we bought it, so lesson learned there. The problem is I can't seem to find any yet. I've texted the realtor to see if maybe he knows around where the property line is to give me an indication. My phone just went off, maybe that's him. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. With no luck. There's this bee that is just like not leaving me alone. It's just buzzing all around me. Anyway, if you can tell, the road's up there. I've walked much deeper into the property than I did last time, and it's sloped, but I have to admit it is quite the treat to walk on this compared to what I've been doing on our current property. It looks like we're getting to a point over here though where it's really starting to drop off, so I'm assuming if I'm on the right property, like everything I can tell indicates that it's somewhere in this general area. I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, but I asked if there was a soil test on the property, and one has been conducted, and there's like 3 different areas that are supposedly suitable for a septic. So I'm using the map of that soil test, and I'm thinking it kind of makes sense right here, because it says there's a gully like about center ways on the property, a little ways off of the road, and this looks, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it looks like a gully to me, but I can't find any property pins. The realtor did message me back and say that he hasn't walked the property, so he doesn't know where the lines are. So I don't know, my only thinking at this point is I would have to either just not even go in on the property and pay someone to come out and try to find the corner pins and mark it for me, or if they would accept an offer low enough to maybe get into like a due diligence period and then hire someone to come and mark it for me. So at this point, unless I come across something, I have to determine if I'm interested enough to take that extra step. What I have noticed is here, there, those 2 spots, and then I have my rake with me. Here, there's markings on the trees, but I don't know, like, as far as I know, typically like property line marks aren't black or whatever color that is. Maybe it used to be a different color, I don't know. Or maybe that's the markings for the soil test. I have no clue. Totally talking out of my ass. But those are the only things I've seen so far, and they're way down here. They're not up near the road where I need to find markings. Because the big question here, obviously, I mean, you need to know where the property line is, but the driveway scenario has been a huge deal for us at this point. And I need to know where the property comes in, like where a driveway could be put in, so that I know this is worth my time. Because I don't want to deal with the scenario. Oh, there's a mark. I don't want to deal with it again of not knowing how I'm going to get onto the property. So there's that one. And those other marks go straight down there. Let's see. I think the camera's gonna focus on all the wrong stuff, but they're down there somewhere. All this time I've been looking at the ground. Maybe I should have been looking up at the trees. Well, let's see. This is uncut, unfiltered exploration. Nothing on this one. I don't know how big some of these trees may have gotten since this was, you know, surveyed and marked or whatever, so who knows. There's a bug in a spider web. So that tree is right down there. I mean, it seems like there's potentially a line being drawn here with the wherever these marks I'm finding are. So far, no others. But the angle they were coming in at, I need to look at that map again. But the angle kind of suggests that it would be coming straight up to the power pole here, and if that's the case, that's good news. But it kind of, I don't know, the angle there is kind of weird. Huh. Well, I couldn't seem to figure anything out just yet. So I'm going to take a break and go for a little walk. I'm going to leave the Jeep there, so cross my fingers, that's okay. But I'm going to walk down the road here a little ways, because unbeknownst to me, there's actually another little property for sale. I'm highly skeptical that it'll be, you know, really all that promising. But I figured I'd take a break from the woods, the fruitless woods walk, and just go look at it, since I'm about like a 10-minute walk away from it, so reasonable amount of time, I guess. And maybe we'll come back to this and look around a bit more, I don't know. Stay tuned. The 10-minute walk thing might have been a little bit deceiving, because I forgot that a lot of it was just uphill. But I suppose you might be wondering, why are you walking there instead of driving? Well, it's because a lot of these roads are very narrow and steep a lot of times, and I never know if there's going to be a place to park or turn around. So, if at all possible, I like to find somewhere nearby and walk in, just in case I don't get myself into a predicament or any awkward situations. And that's the logic. Or maybe I should stop doing that. I think we've made it to the little streetway here. It's concrete. And the property I'm looking for, as long as my calculations are correct, is somewhere up here. I'm pretty sure it's an uphill lot. Alright, so here we are. And it is uphill. There is this weird kind of, I don't know if this is a washout or a cutout, but it looks like something you could potentially use as a driveway. I mean, like, not in its current state, but as a potential starting point. I don't know if it was initially started for that and it washed away. I guess I'll see if I can walk up a little ways, just take a look at it. I'm pretty sure this isn't something we'd be particularly interested in, but you know, I walked all this way to get here, so maybe there's something to it that you can't see from here. Well, that didn't feel as treacherous as I thought it would. See, I don't know, this stuff looks weird. It almost looks like this was done to this rather than it being a natural formation. Kind of hard to tell. But then like this part doesn't look like it was done. It looks more natural. Gotta keep the eyes open for snakies. Ugh, spider web. Damn it. Yeah, see, this looks like gravel piles. Got a fallen tree here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was done somehow, but like, how come all the trees are still here? There's some kind of like stone, concrete, I think that was like concrete bags made into a pillar or something. But yeah, I'm not really seeing a way up onto the lot itself. It's just this bit. Huh. I mean, if you could do a teeny tiny house here, which you no longer can, you could probably make your driveway here and you just park like right around this spot and you just have a little teeny tiny house right there. Maybe that's what someone was gonna do back in the day. I don't know. Look at that. That's huge. Well, we're back to the car now. Everything seems to be in order, except for, you know, look at my reflection there. It needs to be washed, like big time. Well, I had a thought here. Is to my understanding, based on the soil test map thing, this property is somewhere like around 80 to 90 feet wide. So I was wondering if these markers are intended to be like property line markers. Could I count from them going straight that way and another spiderweb? Brilliant, wonderful, love it. I'm just wondering if I can maybe try to step it off in that direction and see if there's similar markings that way. And then that would tell us if this is meant to be a property line marker. You can tell it's been here a while. And it's kind of torn. That doesn't really mean anything, but I do wonder if it was like tied on here and the tree grew, stretching it out a bit. But I don't know how long these things can last, so maybe that's a ridiculous notion. Anyway, I'm just gonna head straight this way the best I can, if I can go that far. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be stepping it off. Okay. There's 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna be counting under my breath so I don't annoy people. It's about 13, probably more than 13 because I'm not stepping like toe to heel exactly. So it's approximate. But yeah, I'll just be quiet and you can enjoy the scenery as captured by low dynamic range camera. And we'll see what we can get into over here, maybe. Spiderweb. Ah, another one. Ah. Lost count. Well, I'm approximately around 75 steps in, And due to all the brush we have here, it would seem that if there were property markers, we'd be seeing them around here by now. And all I see is this big ass tree that fell over. And the thing is like there's a house right there and there's supposed to be another little property in between them. So I am quite perplexed as to where this dang line is. It's going to be quite the perturbance if that line over there marks this side of the lot. That probably doesn't make any sense, but I'm distracted. But like if this, where I'm walking, is another lot, the other lot that's between them, and if the marker over here on the tree is a property line marker, but it's for, what side would this be? The west side? Maybe? I don't know. Oh, here's a marker on the tree. It's another one of them black ones. Or I guess black. I don't know what color it may have been before. It looks like it was tape, so I'm assuming black tape or duct tape, you know. So there's that. And here's the gully, presumably. So if this was a marker, and you went up straight this way, because if that's the case, that would be much better. Like, here's an edge of the property here, and that marker over there that I can't spot at the moment. Where's that big ass tree? Oh, my phone's ringing. So I kind of lost track of where that tree was. It's one of these right down here, I think. So I'm a little uphill here and I'm looking and I'm not seeing any other marks, but there is this like giant pine tree that I would estimate is somewhere in the line with it, if that is a line to be considered, of course. But if that's the case, then from this marker over here to the pink one over here, it's not that far. Pretty sure the property should be wider than that. But right up here is where I'm parked and where we come in at. And walk over here, we got this big pine tree. And I'm lost. Where's my tree with the ribbon on it? Am I looking right at it? There's that. That bush there with the markings. How the hell am I not seeing it? Maybe I'm just up too far and I'm disoriented. Maybe, oh god, another damn spider web. Ugh, another one. And then there's the tree up there, I think. So yeah, that's really narrow. It's much more narrow than the 86 feet or whatever it was supposed to be. So my question is like, if these markers are this side of the property and the property actually goes that way, well, that's a big no-no. Like it's more sloped over there, and if you have to make a driveway into it right, like straight up the road there, I don't think that one's quite as favorable. The main point of contention that I have is that gully over there. What appears to me to be a gully. Maybe it's further down and I'm kind of looking at the wrong thing, but the little thing says that there's a gully, and that seems to be it, unless it's way over here, like this much larger drop off, being like more of a massive gully. A much more substantial gully But that like goes way down into that, like it's basically a valley. God damn it, stupid spider webs. Yeah, I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but that goes down pretty substantially there. So yeah, if your property goes over there, that's no goo. That would be a no-go for sure. It's funny what a difference the lighting change makes. Because like the lighting right now is completely different than when I first came up here, and it's like it looks like a totally different area. I was really having a hard time finding my bearings. So as far as I can tell, this big pine tree here is the one that I said down in there might kind of line up with the property line, or that marker that I saw. And I stepped it off from the Jeep over there about where the power pole is, and that seems to be about 60 feet approximately. So if that were the case, up here on the road anyway, it might make sense. Because it's possible here that the power pole is not the exact property line marker. And instead, if you went 1, 2, this is about 20 feet here. It's like if your property line is somewhere in here, then you could maybe get that, you know, 80, 90 feet, whatever it is, between here and the other marker. But that really makes the other lot over there relatively narrow. One of the problems we have right here trying to spot a corner is this tree, if you can see it down in there, is pretty much like right in line where I would assume a corner stake would be. So maybe it's there, and the reason I can't find it is because there's a damn tree right over it. I don't know. Probably not. But that would be pretty hilarious. In any case, right here looks to be a pile of gravel. I'm assuming related to maintenance of the road, but it looks like it was just kind of left here. I don't know if maybe there was plans for this property and they just didn't do anything with it, but you can see like they have this buildup of you know, stuff here. But I kind of eyeballed it down here, like where I walked to, where it kind of flattens out the road, is about 5 feet of difference. And I'm assuming, I don't know, I haven't really measured it, but I assume from probably around here where I'm standing to over there is, you know, 10 feet. And if that's the case, that's about the width you would want for a driveway. So let's say maybe you came in here and you like could cut through some of this excess gravel here, kind of made a diagonal where this fallen thing is, and get to the edge of the road here. I don't know how far off of it you need to be. I might walk up there and see how other people's lots look, but oop doogie, right around here in this general area, right off the side of the road, you could start cutting down. And if you have about 10 feet there, you could cut in, and maybe it wouldn't be too bad of a slope. It's really hard to tell because it's easy, I think, to be optimistic about this stuff until you start digging and seeing the reality of it. But if you could cut some of this down and kind of make maybe kind of a slanted slope of a drive right down into there, at the very least you could possibly make it where you just pull straight down like right over there and park right off the road, and then the rest of the property, assuming this is the property here, would be open to do whatever you want to with, more or less. I had planned to try and maybe actually get the measuring tape out and do some measurements today, but considering the fact that I can't seem to find the corners and everything, I'm not gonna worry about it. You know, I pretty much eyeballed this, probably horribly inaccurate, but it gives me some idea of what you might be working with, assuming this is your property, or this is the part of the lot. So, you know, wait to hear back and see if there's any potential here price-wise and whatnot, and go from there. If it looks like something that would be worth pursuing, then maybe I'll consider investing a little bit of money to figuring out exactly where the lot is. One thing I know I need to do is probably do some research on if the the idea that I have for how a driveway could work here, assuming all of the other things, make sure that that's even like doable, if it's proper to do it that way. I mean, I've seen all kinds of like driveways and roads around here that do things like that, so I don't see why it would be a problem, but you know, maybe every area is unique, so probably should look into what is the appropriate way to handle that, and just make sure I'm not giving myself any unwarranted optimism. Let's see if I can back my way out of here down to a little spot to turn around. We're doing it. Okay, I think it's right here. I don't want to get too far back, so we'll just try to do a little 3-point turn here. There you go. We did it. Ugh.